Very important parts of my operation, or any planner's operation, is not just putting business on the books and getting clients covered, thereby protecting their needs, is in the event of a claim coming through, is to be involved, aware of, and help the client manage that difficult process right from beginning to end. I had a recent case to illustrate that, in that, oh boy, it would have been about 5 years ago, I wrote or placed cover on a husband and wife business owner company, owners of a business company, and they had substantial debts, and included in the policy was over $600,000 of trauma cover on both parties, and that figure came out of discussion and need and income requirements and medical expenses requirements, as we normally do through our analysis of needs. It wasn't so much as a debt reduction cover, that trauma part. It did include coverage of interest on the debt for a year or so as part of the level of debt of trauma cover being recommended. But it was a very, very difficult sale to get them to agree. And because of the way I promoted the product, or the trauma component of the overall insurance, I included what I call the Rolls Royce of benefits, the reinstatement of trauma. And the clients were reluctant to pay extra because of that, but I explained the value and showed them in the PDS what that actually meant. They bought that, and they paid for the extra premium to cover that extra double living and living reinstatement. So when the claim came in some 4 years later, and during that 4-year period, the annual review of risk was also difficult, because the clients were reluctant to even renew the policies, because they found, like some clients do, unnecessary expense. Why do we need this? And each of the 4 years I reinforced the need. They kept it on the books. The claim came in after year 5. The wife got breast cancer, and devastating as it was, straight away the husband called me, because that's our position, my clients, to call me first. I got onto claims, spoke to a claims manager who I have also in my fast dial, by the way, in my mobile, Joanna Hadley, in underwriting claims, and she's a great advocate or assistant for me as part of my business partner working. I often call her about how she would handle claims before I even make a sale. So I called her straight away when the husband called me. Within 24 hours, the claims process was underway. The claim was paid out within 2 weeks. It was unbelievable. All the way through, I was not managing it, but being aware of and talking to the clients about it. I didn't remind them that it was difficult for them to buy in the first place, although he actually said to me in hindsight that they felt a bit embarrassed that he remembered, because they didn't want to buy in the first place, so he remembered that, but was very grateful that it happened. So with the result, there were $660,000 of trauma paid to her within 2 weeks. They refunded a lot of premium based on, as they do from claim time through to benefit payment time, so the benefit was actually increased. And then to cap it all off, because they had double living and living reinstatement, which I reminded them of then, their death cover was immediately reinstated, so they didn't lose any death cover. The premium from then on stopped on that increased cover, which for life of the policy, which they were really happy about. And then I diarised and reminded them of the fact that 12 months later, which has just happened about a month ago now, she applied for and got her trauma cover reinstated. So the end result was she still got her cover. They were able to debt service interest-wise for a couple of years from that payout. She's had to go overseas for extensive cancer treatment, which would have been difficult without that payout. So a great outcome all around for myself as well, knowing that I got them the cover they needed, but more importantly, helping them out with a claim. But the big thing for them was the business was not interrupted. They paid down some debt, although that wasn't critical because of the level of debt they had, but they were able to have a debt holiday in terms of interest and fund very expensive medical expenses. And it didn't take long for her to be back in the business where she's critical.